Victory is life. Do you not? Do you not agree? First, you're not the first. You're the second. I'm the first.
Long live the Dominion.
I'm first Foley. He's second Cockings.
Glory to you and your Dominion. Hey, Stuart, we're looking at kind of a rarely looked at topic on Trekyards, a Dominion ship. Mostly because they had like 3 ships in all of DS9, and then, that was all they featured in. So not a lot of variety. Although technically there's 2 cruisers, but still. This is different though.
Yeah, this is a strike cruiser, I believe it's called. It's a bug ship, but not. It seems a little more aggressive than a bug ship.
Yep, designed for Star Trek Online, which have been wonderful in adding to the mythology, and we always like the styles of ship where you take the familiar shapes but just renew it. And this is clearly what it is, but actually it has a lot of unique details to it. So this is certainly the first I've looked at it in any meaningful way. And in fact, I remember rendering these. I did them a while ago. So Stuart, what do you think of this fresh Dominion ship?
At first glance, it looks just like a bug ship, but I'm sure we'll get into comparisons later. But yeah, I mean, it's got that Beetle vibe to it that the bug ships do, and I like the color scheme as well. I like the more pointy front end, I believe. So this is kind of cool. I'm not sure where it falls size-wise with a bug ship.
Neither do I. I don't know either.
You can see windows there, and that doesn't make a lot of sense because bug ships don't really have windows, or shouldn't, because only the Vorta and the first, I believe, have the view screen little eyepiece thingies. So they're the only ones that can look out. The Jem'Hadar don't need to look out windows.
But you know what happened as soon as Odo took over? He instituted the new window policy. All ships must be built with windows going forth. So.
Oh, okay.
Because Trekyardians after, of course, if Odo's still there. They could be post-window. Yes. No, I think this is rather a nice design. Very faithful and yet a lot of little creative oomph to it, I think. This would look really nice in a swarm of fighters, but actually feel like that more sleeked out next-gen version, a la Prometheus to Voyager. We're just going to go a bit sleeker, a bit more pointy. I really like the additional glow details near the not bridge module. For some reason, those really strike me as a nice, like, ooh, they're doing something. Ooh. Don't know what, though, but I like them.
Yeah, and there's even like a similar blue glow near the back there inset. So I do like the color palette, though. I like the dark blue, the purple, and the different colored grays. I think that works really well.
It's less friendly feeling than the bug ship, ironically.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be. I would assume this being a strike cruiser is more capable than a bug ship.
Well, or they can just do everything in DS9. They're the all-purpose.
Yeah.
But let's voyage around them. The back view is not as good. For me, anyway.
Yeah, it's still maintaining that bug ship kind of. I love the lighting back there, the grilling. I think that looks really cool. But yeah, it's a nice looking ship, though. I do like the shape of the nacelles.
So the reason I say it doesn't look as good is that the front is so wonderfully intricately detailed and thought out, and the back is quite nice. But the separation point between the two is just a hard-edged, flat, boring surface that feels like almost as if it should be a separate ship, as if they'd come apart. There's a. I mean, fair enough, right? You're not looking at the ship super close in the game, nor this angle necessarily, nor those middle bits. But I would certainly have done a bit more to make sure that the middle of the design was fleshed out in a way that the front really is, and the back has a nice vibe. So it's more of just that's where they ran out of time. They just thought, end the line, add some glows which don't quite,
Maybe, as you said, that's purposely done. You just plug in a new propulsion module if you need to do something different. Or
that'd be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. But the next view, though, hella different, actually. Wow. Loads of stuff going on.
Well, one thing I noticed with the first picture, too, is because it's STO, you got a lot of your weapons hard points there, which are the red glows, and it seems to be pretty heavily armed. I don't know if the ones on the bottom would be those red ones, but...
Well, there's some above the bridge module that I don't think would be, so there's probably just a variety of things going on.
Yeah. But some nice details, for sure.
I'm interested that, unusually, the top grills are replicated on the bottom. The other bug ship, they're only on the bottom, which is why feels a bit more oomphy, because it's got both. But I'm intrigued. I thought maybe they were going to do the reverse and only have them on the top and the bottom be something else. I'm kind of surprised they have both details. Visible deflector, of course, or deflector detail, which honestly reminds me now of the Shrike, which is weird because it shouldn't, because the thing was designed like 8 years earlier. But a certain something there. And in fact, I could see this having some Shrike details to give a giant cannon. It almost feels like that's a logical extension point of let's have this under cannon. When in fact, this is a view that you don't often see. I really like how they've layered and tapered all the bottom, I guess, throat area. Just the way it all goes in, I think it's really nice. So a lot of these things are just like what feels aesthetically right when you're building it in 3D. How far you move things and squidge things, and it's like, I think that's a really nice gradient and the subtle lines and such. Yeah, well done.
I do like the plate detail as well. It adds some pop to it, you know. So
yeah, it doesn't feel. And we've looked at a lot of ships and Trekyards, and a lot of the plating sometimes feels they just put some stuff on a thing. The way they've integrated the purple, especially the front, has a real. Okay, I sense a purpose here. I sense a 1, 2, 3 design approach versus just let's add plates, right? Which is nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we reverse back, similar to front, much better than the top front. This hides the middle blends in a lot better from this view. Huh.
Those nacelles I really like. Just it's a nice shape, and I love the glow details on them as well.
The tri-back grills. With a rather nice frosted glass vibe. And this is very similar to Bug Ship in terms of aesthetic and vibe. But that's a good thing. Bug Ships are great designs, so it makes sense. But let us do orthographics and then we'll do some comparisons. So top and bottom.
Well, here you get a real sense of that division point you were talking about. Where you could literally just swap out engine modules at the back there.
I was right to think it was distinct. Because that's a USB connecting point right there, only kind of thing.
It would almost be cool with this design if those struts actually kind of slid, like kind of swept back a little bit and like locked in place to kind of connect the two more. Because you got the angled part there, which could really like be designed to snap into the other area, kind of bring it all together. But yeah,
like almost they released the fighter carrier from Invasion and the thing on Fortress mode. So as if this thing kind of like compress in on itself to become a more armoured version. Not sure how it functions here, but I see what you mean. I wonder if that was an intentional thought process to have such a distinct connection point that it could just be swapped out. Or even if you're going to go, maybe they took some inspiration from the runabout, because that front bit reminds me of the Warp Delta from Enterprise-esque, right? But you can imagine that's a really nice and high detail area. There's a lot of stuff going on. Imagine if the middle bit, you could attach middle modules, and then at the end, the engine detail. So you could actually create like a train of things. It becomes just a multi-purpose ship, which then this is the base configuration. This to me speaks that. I don't know why. What do you think as vibing?
Kind of like a Dominion Ptolemy class.
Yeah.
Just add extra pods in the middle there and create like a... It would be good for ground invasion, honestly. Have troop carriers, Jem'Hadar troop carriers that you can lock in the middle there and have them go planet side or something.
Although, gosh, could you design them such... This is quite a big ship, but could you design that the pods actually... So it warps in and it's got some pods in the middle before the engine, and they just drop into orbit as a drop pods. They go dum 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 dum, and you've got this just...
Yeah.
Cavalcade of troops, or even just a cargo ship with Ketracel white boxes, which are very, very important.
Yes.
I don't know. I just think this design would really work well, and given that there's kind of if you kept up the middle curve detail, so just elongated, it would look like a giant beetle. I think it'd be really quite a nice thing. Mm-hmm. That's not what's here, but I like both views. I think they both work quite well. There could be a bit more connective tissue between the two parts, unless, like I say, that idea. But front, side, and back. I
like all these views, honestly. The front is feels very Romulan, Vaso Romulan to be specific, with the angles there. And in the back, I love the detailing of those engine glows. That's really quite aesthetically pleasing. The side with the taper down, though, I could do without that, but it looks good in other views, so... Yeah,
the front view, and I was sort of getting this with the front sort of beak area is clearly inspired by the cruiser, and that front view looks like the cruiser, give or take. So it makes sense, right? They're all inspired by each other. Side view is very bug shippy, but a little bit more not, but very, very close. And I did not know the back view that all the grills are going to be attached into one giant connective piece. So that's cool. That's not what I was expecting. I thought it'd be something to break up the shape. But Stuart, it's time for your revelations. The comparison with the bug ship from Deep Space Nine and once in Voyager and a holodeck. Super different, Stuart. But also not.
Yeah, and there are windows on the bug ship. Okay, so it looks almost like a stripped down version of a bug ship. It almost seems like the superstructure before the armor's added, especially that engine module. It feels like that's this new one is the exposed version. The other one's armored, but it's actually very interesting the way that they've made something new, but not like I said. At first glance, I wasn't sure how different it was from the bug ship, and the more you look, the more you see how very different it is. And yet, as you said, not at the same time. So it's a very good, well thought out design process, I think.
Well, I don't just re-love the bug ship based on this render. Like the paint scheme and the way it's taken into the shapes are so well balanced.
Yeah, I like the paint scheme on the bug ships. I was never a fan of the bug ship though. Just kind of bugged me.
I've always liked it. And this is interesting because there is still that connective, of course, point between the aft engine pod to the... But it's so blended in to the point where you could almost think it was more connected. They've obviously radically stretched that for the other ones. And even just the way the pylons are forward slung, not back swept, does kind of exacerbate the separation. And you might be slightly, audience, thinking, oh no, you've got the wrong render of the other bug ship because the engine module is on the bottom, but as we've already established, it's on both bottom and top. So it feels, like I say, now the exposed detail with a plating in the middle, which is kind of what it is, which is really a radically different thing. It does give it a whole different vibe. But yeah, everything else is still there in a new form, and they're both great. They're both really great. One is certainly, like I said, the Prometheus of it, right? The sleeked out, more tactical version. But the original version, I think, is a beautiful, all-purpose looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Both really cool. But let's continue our comparison with the side.
Wow, that's way different. I much prefer the bug ship in this version, although it seems more Cylon-esque. It looks like the original Cylon ships from the original BSG. Whereas the new one, the Strike Cruiser, seems kind of, again, not complete, and a little more gangly and doesn't look as, as tough from that view.
I think if it was bigger, you wouldn't necessarily think the same, because the details then be bigger. I think this is not meant to be a scale comparative. This is just a design comparative.
Yeah, and I'm sure it is bigger. So
I would guess, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very small thing. What about the engines in comparison? Because you highlighted them in the original discussion, and I can see the based on nacelles. What do you think of them compared?
Kind of prefer the original version. I do like the front of the new version better, but the back and the overall rest of it, I think, is the original configuration is probably better in my opinion.
Yeah, and for me, I think that this is all minor stuff, of course, but the front of the new one feels more like a crystal than a Bassard, whereas the other one, the way it's factored in, it blends in, you don't really think about it too much. But the original, definitely more Beetle-like. The way it kind of all comes together, it gives that vibe, and you can see the bottom grills of the engines, or the bottom engine grill, I don't know. But yeah, super different, super same, and yet not. Do you think it was mistake's the wrong word, but noting here that the front of the bug ship follows the curve with the back, whereas this new version, it's straight, which does change the vibe actually quite a bit. How do you think that works now with it being a far more like straight back version, detail-wise, versus the more curved other one?
Well, the curve at the back is way more noticeable because of that, whereas the original one, it's all kind of cohesive. I prefer the original, more cohesive look. But again, as you said, if this is a bigger ship, it wouldn't, if you're doing this is literally its size, then it's, I know which one I would pick as a tougher ship. But yeah, if the other one's bigger, so
but it would be interesting to see it with a slight curve versus that very stuck out version. And yeah, last shot, first shot, beauty. How do you reinvent the wheel? Turns out you just get a wheel and you scribble on it with Sharpie and cut some things off, But it's still a wheel.
Chisel some things off of it.
Stowe does so well. They reinvent wheels with them still being wheels.
No, but it's a fantastic new design and a good addition to the fleet. I would be interested to see size comparisons of the Jem'Hadar ships. But, yeah, this is a nice one. I do like it.
Yeah, Yeah, it is very Stowe. Like, this wouldn't be exactly how you do it on the show. It's too bitty. Maybe there's too many plate lines, or it's too many sharp lines. They also just be the polygon count, right? If you beveled out all the angles, it would probably feel more full. That's just a game thing, although it holds up really well. But yeah, I think this is a very, if someone wanted this in a fan film, I think this would be a good design for a modern Dominion. Like, if this popped up in Picard, I'd be like, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'd buy it. No issue.
Yeah. Well, guys, comment down below what you thought about this design. Let us know if you used it in game or whatever.
Shot the hell out of it.
Or yes, that too. And hopefully we haven't bugged you too much today, so thank you for sticking around to the end. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the like button so you don't miss any future us bugging you.
I mean, some people like bugs crawling over them. I mean, some people like spiders, and they'd like, I'm just going to sit and... So even for those people might enjoy us either way, Stuart.
If you do, hit like. And the bell notification icon so you get notified each time we upload and do lives. We do a lot of those.
Yes, and when you're on the live, you can join the conversation directly with a super chat. It puts you right into the queue of the conversation, and you can either add to it or entirely skew us in some other amazing direction, or one-time donations via trekyards@hotmail.com. That is the PayPal. Or if you like what we do here and the stuff we look at, then monthly via Patreon, monthly service that helps YouTubers and any creator that makes cool things, or join the channel on YouTube. Same thing, but not quite, and you get some little YouTube bonuses as well. Every and all bit of support makes a big difference, so thank you in advance.
That's right. So until next time, he is the first Cuckings.
And he is a Vorta that has a knife that's about to go into a changeling homeworld and stab. It doesn't work, so he gets killed, but then he's brought back and it's fine. Foley.
Awesome. Vorta Foley. All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.